When we think about savings and investment, it's easy to see or easy to think that the amount of money saved versus the amount of money borrowed doesn't necessarily have to equate. But in fact, it does. So, because of this limitation, it's going to make some of the analysis a little bit easier. For the purpose of simplicity, at this moment, we're going to look at the financial system in a closed economy. And then afterwards, in a few chapters, we're going to actually look at this again, but in an open economy. The closed economy is easier to analyze. Once we open up the economy, it's going to lead to certain things that are going to be slightly more complicated, but overall, the same thing happens. So if we think of our initial GDP function, and we say we're in a closed economy, well, this net exports area here doesn't exist. This net exports is equal to 0. So we have this remaining. And if we think, well, what's our income minus what's the amount of consumption made by an individual minus what's the amount of money spent by the government, well, that y minus c minus g has to be equal to the amount of money saved. And we say that amount of money saved, we're talking about national savings, which is the total income in the economy that remains after paying for consumption and government purchases. So national saving we'll see is a mixture of public and private saving. So if we think that all of this is equal to national saving, well, if we were to take this and throw it on the other side, have a negative sign, same thing for this, well, then we see that this y minus c minus g is also equal to I, which means that for the economy as a whole, savings needs to equal investment. Okay? Even though it's not the case for every individuals, there'll be some net savers, some net borrowers. For the whole economy, savings has to equal investment. This is for the whole country in a closed economy. In a world economy, well, then it would be for all the countries together. But let's just stick to the closed economy for now. So here's a slide that has a bit of information, but is important for the people that still get confused with savings and investment. So the terms savings and investment can be confusing for many at first. Investment should be seen as investment found in GDP calculation, so buying a new excavator, building a new power plant, buying a chainsaw, buying a car, buying whatever equipment for your business. All of that is seen as investment. Saving, on the other hand, could be seen as the money left from your income after paying all other expenses. So money that you either put in the bank, buy stocks, buy bonds. This is commonly known as monetary investments, but for the purpose of this class, refer to that monetary stuff that you put aside as savings. So savings will be how much money you have remaining that you put aside, and investment is really those kind of goods that you buy when you invest in your company or you build a new house or something else. Okay, so let's just expand on this concept a little bit more. We're going to add taxes, so T denote taxes. So essentially here we could separate private and public saving. What is private saving? Well, it's the amount of money that you earn minus the taxes you pay minus what you spend on consumption goods. If you earn 1,000 and you lose a certain amount to the government and then you consume the rest, well, the amount of money remaining is your private saving. Whereas your public saving, the amount of money that the government saves is if their taxes that they generate is greater than their government spending. That would be the public saving. But if you look at this equation here, the T is minus here and it's plus here, so you could cancel it out and remain with your national saving is equal to y minus c minus g. So introducing the t just makes it easier to separate private and public saving. So private saving is the amount of money that's left after paying for taxes and consumption. Public saving is what's left after paying for its spending. So if we have a budget surplus, taxes greater than government spending, we'll have public saving, which will be positive. And if we have a budget deficit, we're going to have public saving, which will be negative. So in either case, we could have the government being borrowers or lenders, and we could have individuals being as borrowers and lenders. Public and private saving together doesn't have to add up to 0. All it has to do is that adding public and private saving gives you national saving, and that national saving must equal investment. So we're going to go through a problem that's going to make everything linked up, because you'll have a series of information, and with that you should be able to find everything else. So that will be the next